Hello everyone and welcome back to 7 Days Valencia. It's me, JD Sensei. I just really wanted to get this done. Welcome back, guys. Hope you are enjoying the series, which will be petering out here eventually, because we discussed this the last couple of episodes, but actually we did get 100% confirmation that they have passed certification with both Sony and Microsoft. And what that means, guys, for those of you who are not console savvy, is Sony and Microsoft require that they test out the game and make sure it is in a state that they would consider okay to release on their platform. Now then, I do not know what their criteria was, and I don't pay close enough attention on the PC side to see how much of this is true, but certain posters on Reddit and stuff are saying like they don't understand how because it's buggy as hell, and then you got the usual group that's like, it's not buggy, I've never had anything happen. So I don't know. I do know that Sony's very picky about stuff, but they let stuff pass all the time, so you know, there's certain bugs that get through. I don't know how bad it is either. See, the other thing with PC is everybody's got a different settings, different pieces and stuff. So at least when you're dealing with consoles, in Microsoft's case, there should be 2 configurations, maybe 3 or 4. Sony should only technically be 2. Because they got the new Slim, and I don't know architecturally, though, if they changed anything in that. I would think most of the adjustments came from the cooling and stuff, how they rearranged everything to make it a little, because it's not super slimmer, it's a little slimmer. I've seen both boxes, and I'd say it's a little bit slimmer. It's not, you're not talking, you know, you're not going to be on The Biggest Loser or anything. Sony's definitely not going to make that show. But yeah, we should have less, or they at least should have less trouble cleaning up any bugs, any severe bugs on console, because they don't have to worry if we've got the NVIDIA with this update, or, you know, the ATI card with this update, or this settings, or this shit. No, we're all set the same way. You know, we all got the same stupid video card that was in there from day one. It's updated to whatever that they've updated in their latest firmware update. So, yeah, we're a bit easier. Now, that has its drawbacks, though. We cannot do 245,000 frames per second and, you know, put it on 8K. Why you'd want to do that, I don't know, but you could. You can do that on, if your PC is beefy enough and they allow it, go for it. We can't do that. And I've heard some, I don't know how true this is. I don't have one, and I have no desire to get one, but apparently Series S, oof, that's going to be a Hoyton one. They're not going to, at least this is rumor control. We don't know yet. But this is from people theoretically in the know, but if you have a Series S, that is Sierra, not an X-ray, not an X, an S, you know, the budget model, you're not going to have the same settings as everybody else. You won't be able to have 64 max Fortnite. There'll be some lighting that's different. That makes sense, because even Microsoft is kind of, you know, they forced parity with the Series S, and it's kind of holding them back. So they're kind of loosening up a bit on that. Sony doesn't have that problem. You basically have a PS5. The only difference in SKUs they had was one was digital, all digital, and one was old-fashioned, had a disk drive. And, you know, that was the only real major difference. And there's a new Slim model, which is basically looks like they took out some of the cooling, you know, or basically they slimmed it down a bit. but there's no pro upgrades or anything like that. So nobody's rocking different hardware or anything. So, ooh, I do like this. This is a pain in the ass to do this, but I do like it. Don't worry, we are going upstairs soon too. What I really wanted to do though is throw in this, not that one, but stop it! Stop going back there. But I did want to put this in because it, again, does make it safer to work over here. Son of a bitch, stop going that way. Man, I cannot wait for the copy command. Where's my frickin' pickaxe? Son of a damn bitch. No! No, not yet. Later, you can wait. All right, that'll take care of some hooligans. And since I put all this grass here, they shouldn't spawn any more cops or anything like that. All right, some more grass is gonna grow here. Speak of the devil. Some more grass is obviously gonna pop up here in these few spots, but bro, that looks so much better, doesn't it? I think that looks so much better. All right, we need to change out some stuff. We need to go in and finish up the roof, the top floor. Your boy had to get a drink. I was thirsty. No, not get on it, you idiot. These are brick pavers. We do not want those, but we did want these. All right. I'm also going to go in and drop some crap off. Basically, this the dirt and the plant fibers. We'll get rid of that for now. So we get rid of the plant fibers. We'll get rid of the dirt. We'll keep the fat on us, and we will take some of these so we can make a few more torches. I am going to take all the concrete. I also kept some of this over here in case I need some more flagstone at some point. I don't know. Might happen. Do I need anything else? We'll drop off the grassy ground for the mow. And we can drop these off. We might put some trees in later. I might actually go get some of those, go get some maple trees. That would be better right there. The only problem is if you put in big-ass trees, that's why I don't like the maples. They spread out so much you can't see the work that's behind it. At least with pine trees, they grow straight up. So, yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go with this. We do need to go up there and finish up what we're doing up there. Eventually, we'll get to the point where I don't actually have to work on the building anymore. Yeah, see, well, at least with this, I can still see around it. But when you do that tree up, look at how much that gets blocked because of that tree. I mean, they look really nice. But one tree, dead-ass center, and you wouldn't even be able to see any of that walkway in there or none of it. It'd be completely blocked. Shoot. Shoot. These two will pop up when I'm inside. Watch. You're gonna do it. I know you're gonna do it. Eventually, you're gonna do it. I'll get you on the flip side. All right. I keep expecting it to happen. All right, let me close this. All right, up we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to the top floor. Tippy top will finish up the concrete we were going to do up there, and we'll get the ceiling put in. And the ceiling is going to be flagstone. Why did I never fix these windows? JD asked himself. Ah, well, that's something I got to fix at some point, huh? Did I bring iron bars? No, I'll go get those later. All right. Bunch of windows I got to fix in here. Didn't look at. That's fine. We wanted to get up here and finish a lot of this crap up. All right, so let's pound the stuff on in here. All this done. you know. Pretty all this place up. Oh yeah, by the way, day 133 is a Horde night. I can't say, you know, I'm really in the mood for Hordes anymore. I'm in the mood for 1.0. I'm in the mood for a real Horde. A Horde that's not idiot. Didn't you say, you mean an idiot? No, they're all idiots. So I'm just going to say idiot. Singular. As in they're so dumb, they might as well be single brain cell. You got to admit, man, you know, without game stage, if you don't know what game stage is, that's something in the current version on the PC. You know, things get harder and harder and harder. Yeah, we get to a point where they can only send so much. And I mean, by the way, 64 zombies at a time looks overwhelming. But from what I've been seeing, and if you understand how the zombies work, it's manageable. I'm tempted to use a lot of the cheese techniques that I've been seeing too, but I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to do, you know, trap bases and stuff like that. But there are a lot of ways to funnel the zombies and stuff like that that make them very, very susceptible to getting, you know, you can basically control how you want. One of the coolest things I did see, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but one of the coolest things I did see, and it was just on a random video I popped up, and somebody was doing, you know, quick tips for people just starting out, which is kind of the stuff I'm looking for right now, just little quick things I might not know and stuff like that. But one of the things they were talking about is you can take a ladder, you know, say you're getting chased, you can keep a bunch of ladder on you. And if you run up the ladder, if you get to the top, get ahead of the zombies, right? You can throw like a slanted, I don't know if it's a slanted staircase or a slanted ladder, but if you slant it away from the ladder, like, so the ladder goes up, say the ladder is right there, and then you angle it to the left, out, the zombies will run up, get to the top, and then kind of try and go out over that angled part, and then they'll fall. It was like one of the coolest things. Also, zombies, when they fall off something, apparently they like to, you know, they whack stuff. So there's a whole thing about which blocks to use that they will not, they will avoid using, because it's, like say they were running along here and they fall off, they have a tendency to whack that. There's certain blocks, there's certain sets of blocks that will, sorry, I'm just checking stuff right here. We want to, let's go ahead and take care of this real quick. All right. There's certain blocks that will, they will try and run past it. With certain blocks, they will run past, but they'll be in the mood to give it a quick whack. All right, so I think we wanted, yeah, right from here. Just need to know where my, just gonna do this so I know. All right. Alrighty, we're going upstairs. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of new stuff I gotta learn. And I am excited to learn. I am super duper excited to learn, so. I'm ready, I've been playing this for so long. Everybody says we are, those of us who've played this long, by the way, are gonna get pretty much gonna be in a pretty good place. We should have the basics down. But again, zombies do control completely different than we're used to. So there's still going to be some learning that needs to get learned. Hopefully this looks good. I think it will. I think this is what I wanted. I wanted something a bit different from regular. I don't like the roof. Like that looks like ass. What I'd love is if I could get a, I mean, this is all wishful stuff that I don't really care. I wish in hindsight we had it, but we're about to get 1.0, and I'll have a whole bunch more stuff I wish I had later coming up, man. I'll be like, I'll have a whole bunch of new stuff to ask for, and I'll have the added security of knowing that there's a chance I might get it at some point. One thing I'm not excited for though is when they the next big update for the after the big release in fourth quarter is called is it called Storm's Coming or a Perfect Storm? But whatever, they're bringing back weather. I didn't know it was gone. Because we have it on console, and they're bringing back clothing, which I knew was gone. Which actually was only gone in the last alpha. Whatever. I don't know. I won't miss the temperature crap. I don't know if that's a thing, but if it's, I don't know if I want them to bring that back. I'm going to reserve judgment. Oh, crap. Oops, hit the wrong thing. I'm going to reserve judgment until I get to try some of this stuff. But, you know, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. You can bring it back and we'll see. But if it's anything like this, they can keep it. I don't know how they'll make that work either. Because the armor system, I mean, the clothing system is just for looks, I would assume. Because they did, the new armor system is like, honestly, to me, it's like set pieces in Diablo. That's what it feels like. If you get all these pieces for the assassin kit, you get a lot of assassin goodies. You know, you get buffs to the assassin skill sets. You know, if you use all the pieces for the lumberjack set, you get more wood when you go out doing, you know, lumbering and stuff. I think it's the same for the miner's outfit. So, I mean, clothing, then, if they're going to put that back in, is literally just for cosmetics, I would assume. Because, I mean, if it's for weather, that's just that's annoying. You have to wear outfits to do your skills, and then you have to wear clothing to control, you know, your temperature and stuff. Man, that's too much. I'm good. Especially when a lot of our survivors are guys. Come on, man. We don't care about fashion. Fashion souls is different. That's a whole different animal. You ain't giving me a big-ass broadsword and a funky, you know, fat boy spear. So, no. You might. I don't know. Who knows what these devs will do sometimes. Also, we got to get rid of that one. I suppose I shouldn't give these guys any ideas. For whatever it's worth, guys, make sure the Fun Pimps never play Dark Souls ever. Or if they have, just don't let them get into Fashion Souls. Lord knows we don't need that in here. Which, honestly, I do think some of the outfit idea, I haven't played with it yet, but it really looks, at least how I've seen it explained in-game, really reminds me of set pieces in Diablo. I think it's easier to get the stuff, and I think you can make it too, but it still reminds me of set pieces. You know, you get the big buff for having, I mean, technically, the only reason I say Diablo is because that's probably where it's most popular from. But technically, I mean, come on. If you want to get really technical, Genshin Impact with their artifact set, 4 pieces plus 1. Honkai with their, what are those things? Are they relics? What do they call them? I guess the artifacts. Their artifacts with the, they have it's either a 2 or 4. Well, no, they have what do they do? 4-piece plus the, well, it's like a 4 and a 2-piece. It's weird. and then you have, any game like that, especially the gotchas where they want you to farm up stuff, or anything that gives you, you got multiple pieces of armor. If you collect all of one type, it gives you a big boof. I mean, we've had that kind of idea forever. If you go, I think you can go all the way back to the, OG Spider-Man on the PS2 and the Batmans on the on the PS3s or the PCs with the various suits that have different functions. But yeah, it reminds me. I'm going to go and stick with Diablo. That's what it really reminds me of. Just getting them set pieces. I mean, I'm old school. I'll tell you, it reminds me of Sacred, Fallen Angel. Sacred 2. For those of you who are into that, half of you sitting there going, what the hell's Sacred? If you don't know, don't worry about it. I enjoyed Sacred 2. Sacred 3, from what I heard, was not a very good game. This is what I hear. Also, can we stop bitching about the heat? See, I'm not in a big rush to get that back, guys. I'm not in a big rush to hear, whew, because it's too hot for 20 seconds, and then it's too cold for 20 more seconds. No. They better have a really good system in mind for that, because I do not want this weather system back if this is what they have in mind. If it's literally just going to be something to annoy us, no, don't bring it back. It is the fun pimps. You never know with them. You really don't, because one thing, and this is not to drag on them, but it sort of is. No, I'm not ragging on them per se. It's just a lot of people have bitched over the years, and it's happening again. Every time they do an update where they do a major change, and we've talked about this before with spikes and stuff like that. A lot of these major changes is because, they get crapped on every time they do this, and it's. People have opinions, but I will say right now, I'm going to say this. A lot of people have a point. If you make a survival sandbox game, which is kind of what this is, and then to just decide that there's an optimal way you want people to play, and then you keep changing your mind, you're going to annoy people. Just saying, you can get miffed and think the criticism is unfair, which I don't follow them too much, but I do know the devs have gotten a little prickly over the years about some of the changes they made. But it's a legit criticism. I mean, especially for the long-time people who have been here, I haven't tried the new system yet, so I cannot say I have an opinion on it. With the magazines and all that. But I have watched, people like Cage848. I've watched people that have played this since like forever ago. Like back in the Ice Age. Like back in Alpha 6, 7, things like that. So they have legitimate excuses, and it's always, they want the game. It's why we have do collectors now. They want, and one of the things I've heard, I don't know if this is true. Also, I'm doing this wrong. One of the things I've heard from the people playing on experimental is they think, and I don't know if this is true. This is just the opinions I've seen of people online. I think that they're talking about how they think early game infections are kind of overtuned. Like because infection is actually deadly now, apparently, which it's usually nothing, at least in the version we have currently. But apparently, like, if you get, and there's no rhyme or reason. Apparently, it was supposed to be like just like with vultures, like in the game. Yeah, vultures will fly over you until you like are bleeding or something, or you get a wound, and then all of a sudden you'll start attracting stuff like that. Go figure. I kind of want to give them just give them a light ribbing. It's like, congratulations, guys, you have blood aggro. Final Fantasy 11, an MMO made on the PS2, had that. By contrast, they also had sight, sound, true sight. They had a bunch of different aggro types, which wouldn't make any sense. But, you know, a PS2 game had that. Come on, guys. You're not special. That's called blood aggro. We've had that before. I kind of like making that dig. And I can't even make that dig anymore anyways, because they babied Final Fantasy 14 so much, they don't have none of that stuff. You kids, in my day, we had to use silent powders, and we had to use invisibility, and even that didn't work sometimes. If the devs wanted to be jackasses about it, they put that true sight in there. But yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. But I did find that amusing that, you know, and I think that's valid criticism. I mean, bro, if you wanted everybody to play a certain way, you don't have to keep redoing the game. Just don't make the game a sandbox. They need to. One of the things I think the devs originally needed to do is come in this with the mindset that people are going to play a sandbox game the damn way they want. They're going to make it work. And chasing bugs around and, you know, deciding you don't like how this ended up and it's not your vision, dude, you need better vision. You need a consistent vision. Just saying. And we'll see, because it does have a strong community, but they have made boo-boos before. I've heard, I won't say I haven't heard, I've heard different opinions on the current magazine style of learning. Some people like the old learn by doing, some people like learn by looting. That's what this is. The magazine thing is learn by looting. So I think it's a, you know, it's a matter of preference. But, you know, this game wouldn't have been in alpha for 10 years if you'd picked a frickin' path and went with it. So, who knows? That's just me being nitpicky, but again, you need a little consistency. That's what I'm saying. And it's one of the few things I do agree with a lot of the community, you know, not being happy with the devs forcing people to play certain ways. It defeats the purpose of going with a, you know, sandbox in the first place. What's the use of a sandbox if all the frickin' tools are glued to the damn sand, you know? Or, you know, if you're only going to give us one way to play or one way to make it work, there's no point putting it in a big open world. You only want us to do this, or only want everybody going to the wasteland to get the best loot, which I don't think is a thing. Or, you know, I think the other thing is, I don't know if this is true. I'm just reading experimental. That's some magic crap right there. But anyways, apparently the first trader now is, I don't know how true this is always wrecked. It was in the same thread that where people were bitching about wounds and infection, and it was saying because they made the first trader wrecked, and he very rarely carries honey or anything that can cure infection, it can make early game hard. I don't know. I'm just parroting what I read, you know, because I'm starved for new content, because we're still stuck here for another week. It won't be that long for me. Thank God I play other games. I will say that. But I am excited. So now I'm just consuming. Now I'm just consuming, rumor and intrigue and stuff. But I did want to share some of that little stuff because I am a little wary is the word I was looking for, wary of the fun pimps because I haven't followed the game a whole bunch because for the longest we were under the impression we were going to be, us console folks were going to be stuck with this forever. So up until about a year and a half ago, we had no hope of ever having this. So there was not much reason, but I did occasionally, I love Cage 848. I've been watching him for years, but sometimes I don't feel like watching anybody. So I'll slack off. I like his other series too, but I will say, I'd pop in around Alpha 18, Alpha 19, and I'd hear a couple of views on some of the things they changed and whether people liked them or not, So, and they have changed some stuff a lot. I mean, the big change for us guys that play console is not having the cups, having to do collectors, and not having to make jars anymore. But I don't know how the resources play out yet or any of that because most content creators are that are playing up on that are either trying to give you a little preview and show you all the cool stuff, or they're doing super in-depth stuff like what's the best block and stuff, which by the way is useful. I'm not saying it's not. I actually found that video very freaking interesting. It helped out with a bunch of stuff that I'm going to need to know. But there's little stuff I'd like to know in the game, like how easy is it to get glass? What can I do with glass? It's little stuff like that that I'll learn as I go. I don't want to look at the wiki right now. I want to learn this on my own. I want to know what... I basically watched enough to see what blocks are really going to work. I needed to know what would block cops spit, because I know they get up in your face and they'll spit if you're in a melee fighting position, because the current meta, or the way you're supposed to be, there are AFK bases. You can make AFK bases, which we'll probably get into. I would say that's late game. I would assume. Just for me, it'll be late game because I'll need a skill set to do that, which I would assume I don't currently have. Experience would give me that once I get more comfortable with using certain stuff and figuring out how to protect certain things and how the zombies actually move and get an idea. I have to get a feel for how they actually move myself. I can watch it on video all I want, but once I'm playing in first person, I'm not going third person. I still think some of the animations look janky as hell. I refuse to do that. That is a no-no. I didn't like any of the animations I saw, especially the spear one. But yeah, we're going to be doing some melee bases. I've seen some cool ideas, and you know me, I don't know. I think we'll probably do a POI takeover first, and then we'll think of making our own horde base, or we might do a POI and throw together one of the handy dandy horde bases that everybody apparently knows about, but us console folks will be building for the first time. It's basically just a set of stairs, a block room. They run up the stairs. You make it so the zombies have to follow a single file line. If they get out of hand, you can just back up and throw a grenade or something in the door, or all sorts of little things like that. We'll figure it out when we get there. We will be doing 2-hour days. I like 2-hour days more so because they make it very easy to record a video. I'll tell you that right the hell now, because I know exactly how long I got to do the video. And no, I'm not going to fall for the stupid touch the police car and the zombies come out. I kind of knew that was a thing. I didn't even have to see it happen. I just kind of knew when they put the cop cars in and they had a lockpick icon on it. I was like, oh yeah. You know what would be a dick move? Is to make a siren go off. Sure enough. Well, you know, they went for the low-hanging fruit on that one, and I kind of saw it coming. All right, let's take a look at our handiwork so far. I think this actually looks really good for a roof. Let's check it from downstairs. And we'll throw up some torches before I leave. Let's make a few more. Let's make 3 more. Go ahead. All right. Down, 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 please. And let's get the torches up so we can get some lighting in here. Yeah. Actually, I do like this. It's got a... God, if you go into old school, tell me this doesn't look like an old school frickin'... I mean, I'm talking really old school, but if you were to take the windows out and just have this, it would be like an old wizardry game. The Dungeons and the Wizardry game. Or Shadow Keep. Was that the name of it? The Nintendo game? I'm definitely dating myself on that one. People are like, what, JD, are you talking about? I was like, listen, you had to be there, okay? You had to be there. All right. Here we go. Good news is we shouldn't have much more indoor work to do. A little bit more up here we're done with this. And, of course, fixing the windows next episode. We'll do that. Let's... throw that there so we know where everything is. We'll throw this right here because that'll light up everything around here. And we'll throw this bad boy right here. And we'll throw one dead ass center. We've got 5 more to waste. Probably should throw something right. I guess we'll throw it right here. No, we should throw it right here because I might want to put a wall or a door up here. You never know. All right, where's my down here? I got 4 to get rid of, and I think I can use them on this floor. Yeah, we can start doing the back. Well, we did them left, right on here. No, we did them front, back. So we'll just start putting them on the side. They don't have one. Yeah. And this one didn't have one at all. Weird. Okay. Anyways, looks good. We need to get going. But yeah, I'm very excited for a lot of stuff. I'm super ready. I only got 2 more episodes. I'm going to be hardcore doing on this one, and then we'll be splitting time. I'll be splitting time. I'll probably do a couple of episodes a week on this. Just So let me go over real quick before we leave. This grass finally grow? Oh, of course the weather's going to go to crap. Let me get the machine gun. So the only thing really left to do with this one is this portion right here. This portion right here. This little bit back here. I think the next big part, if we got to do it, is we're going to do this area, this whole thing. We'll turn that into a park. And that'll be it for the great. We could probably start this next episode. Start at least getting it laid out. This would be a nice park. And we're going to have to figure out how I want to lay it out. It'd be interesting. I'll make something cool out of it. But that'll be a long-term little thing. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us a weekly series on 1.0. You know, daily 1.0 vids. So you guys can see me slowly learn how I'm going to do the game. But we're going to keep a little something on this one. You know, a little bit here and there. So you guys, you know, we'll finish up this little bit. I don't want to end it just like that. You know, maybe we'll keep this one going at least until I get tired of doing it. Which could be sooner than I think. You never know. I do need more concrete, so we will make sure that is the thing. No, I'm actually going to bring this with me. We can leave this behind. And I guess we could drop off the flagstone. We'll need a little bit more of that, but not a ton more. A little bit more to finish it up there. Pardon me. I am dealing with a slight cold. Slight cold. It did get better the more I recorded tonight. I will say that. It's always good to leave in late too, because I can take a look at the how this looks. Looks kind of cool, huh? Ah! Ran into the car. All right. Yeah, I probably want to start this up. If I can get this done, I mean, we'll just have very little beautification left. So we'll have an entire block done, and we'll probably end this series on that. You know, finishing up the final block, then we'll do one final episode. We'll take a slow stroll around, see how nice it looks, and then that'd be a nice little bow to put on top of Valencia. A nice little send off to the OG console, right? I mean, all these plans could go to hell real quick if I really fall in love with 1.0. Also, the amount of work I'm going to have to put into doing new videos on 1.0 is going to take away time, which is why I'm only, for the time being, I think I'm only going to commit, because again, I normally record Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And usually I leave one of those days for a free day in case I'm not feeling well, if it's too hot, you know, if I'm uncomfortable for any reason, if I got to work late, you know, whatever. That gives me a little play period, because Thursday is the release date, the 25th. I don't know if it'll be available then. So if it's not available, I'll do a couple episodes of this. If it is available, I'll start doing the 1.0, and I'll try and sneak in a couple of vids on this in the middle somewhere. So for you guys watching this now, when it goes up, it should be, I think this is Friday or Saturday's video. Hold on, I gotta count. I think I have 7 videos, so it should be Saturday's video. So, if this is Saturday's video, I believe it is, there should already be between 1 and 2 episodes up of 1.0. I'm gonna go out and say to expect the last few Valencia videos will be airing on Wednesdays afternoons and Saturday afternoons. Saturday, kind of late afternoon, but that's what I'm going to go with. We might change that up and move it to another day, because my ass end of my weekends are changing around a lot. They do change a lot. Sometimes I have to work Saturdays all day. Sometimes I don't have to work Saturdays at all. So that can screw everything up. So we'll see. But I'm definitely going to do Wednesday. You're going to get a video in the afternoon. Valencia will be moving in the afternoon, where 1.0 will be taking over the... for me, it's the 5 a.m. slot. The early morning video will be a 1.0. And the daily video will be 1.0. I don't know about the Sunday streams. I'm still having trouble getting the game I want to play. And the summer really makes it hard to stream in the afternoon, because the weather almost never cooperates. And it's always too damn hot. So I don't really get a ton of engagement on my streams too much either. So I'm not really big on them. It's never been my forte. It's also the reason I try and do every once in a while, I'll try and start a Twitch, doing something with my Twitch channel, and then I decide not to do anything with my Twitch channel because it's too much. Keeping streams going and, videos going, and working a full frickin' time job. with variable hours. So, it's a little wonky. All right. We have not killed anybody this entire episode. That cannot be allowed to happen. Also, we don't need guns for this. We do need the Bonkomatic, but I would like some more fat because I do not have enough torches. I never have enough torches. Unless there's screamers showing up 2 seconds after I show up to the base, there's not enough torches. This is a thing. To quickly allude back to what I was saying, apparently they broke farming for a long time because they didn't want people being able to be self-sufficient. And I think that's still the case. At least they've got it to the point where you got to dump a ton of points into farming to even become self-sufficient. So a lot of people have gotten miffed over the years when they've decided arbitrarily that they didn't like this gameplay style that people were getting into. And that's not how they wanted you to play the game. It's like, bro, that's not... if you make a sandbox, you kind of got to get out of that rut because that is not what a sandbox is. If you want people to play a certain way, don't make it a sandbox. Do a different something else. But that's just my personal opinion. And you can take that however you want to take it. But I'm of the opinion, if you make a sandbox, you have to accept the fact that people are going to play, the worst thing you can do as a dev is sit there and nerf crap. Nobody likes nerfs. Nobody likes nerfs. Who was it? It was a Japanese. Was it a Japanese dev? Is it Miyamoto? I'm horrible with my history, but I want to say it might have been Miyamoto. Somebody, and I know it was a Japanese dev, but I knew it was a non-Western dev. I don't want to say Japanese, but there was a dev that said it's much easier to make everything weak and then start buffing than it is to make something overpowered and then nerf it into the ground. It's always better to buff than it is to nerf. Just saying, if you start nerfing stuff into the ground, and that's also the worst thing you can do, is say you make a whole bunch of things. You know who was famous for that was Borderlands. Borderlands drove people, especially with 2 and 3. They really pissed people off with that. Because, people would find stuff they like the bee shield and all that. I figured somebody would show up. Hi, Tweaky. Bye, Tweaky. Take your girlfriend with you. And I'm being hunted, so you guys are spawning in somewhere. Right behind me? I think not. Okay, that was it. All right. What you got? Nothing? Don't think I didn't hear that. Somebody else is coming. Yep, I see your shadow. Another noise. Hello, nurse. Goodbye. Oh, okay. What you got? Band-Aids? I could use a Band-Aid. Hey, she had some fat. Nice. She had a little chunk to her. But yeah, that's the thing. There was a developer. I cannot remember who it was actually, but there is a dev that said it's much easier to start, at least you don't want to start finding what everybody's gravitating towards and then start nerf that one thing, because everybody's just going to jump over to the next best thing, and you're going to be playing the nerf game over and over and over, and it's a vicious cycle. You get to the point where people don't even want to complain about it because they know the devs will nerf it. You can't, and as a dev, you can't get any honest criticism. Why would you criticize it? If as soon as you say, wow, this is really strong, and the devs are just going to frickin' nerf the hell out of it. Why would you do that? Nobody's going to want to give you any honest criticism because they don't want their favorite toy broken. I know it wasn't Miyazaki. Dark Souls is famous for doing that. Anybody who played Elden Ring, you all know Hoarfrost Stomp. Remember that? They did try to nerf bleed. That never worked. You know who was the worst one for this? I'm going back to Final Fantasy 11. Final Fantasy 11. They're famous for that. The infamous two-hand update. If you don't know, look it up. It was a mess. They spent years trying to fix it. They also spent years. They made Ninja. This is a prime example. Prime example of devs wanting you to play a certain way. The developers of Final Fantasy 11 never wanted Ninja to be played the way it was. They wanted whatever the hell they wanted. Nobody knows. Nobody can figure it out. But what happened was everybody in the thing decided Ninja was going to be a tank. And what you were going to do is you're going to take two ninjas, two tanks. You were going to have a blink tank because they had one of the skills, Uchi. I can't remember the full name. It was Uchi. It was basically it made you, the next three hits you're going to dodge. So it's called a blink tank. You blink and they miss. So you go with two tanks. One casts Uchi. They take the three hits, and then... hold on. Another nerf. They get... The enemy takes three swipes. That tank... Oh, great. I don't care. Okay. Another nurse. A lot of nurses. At least one more. I have to start moseying soon. But, yeah, sorry. Every time I try and say something, these idiots figure out how to get out. Hey, Tubby, you figured it out? Okay. That's it. Anyways, now they can talk because the game decided it didn't want to throw more crap at me. Another one over here. Thank you. And you, sir? Loaded. Thank you. No fat, though. You guys stingy on the fat. They only gave me 4 pieces. All right, you can keep this. And should scrap that. You guys can keep this crap. I don't want it. And this. There you go. I got to start moseying. So, yeah. Final Fantasy, and I've talked about absolute virtue with them for years, deciding whatever the player base came up with was not the way they wanted you to fight it, so they'd patch it out. But they tried. The two-hand update was one. They made it whatever the hell they did. I wasn't there for it, but I know they broke two-handed weapons so bad they spent years trying to fix it. They actually did the exact opposite in 14. They nerfed White Mage, or they didn't buff it. I forget what it was, but whatever happened, they screwed up White Mage, and they're still having issues with that. Like, they intended for that healer to be a pure healer, and the player base decided any healer that does not cast, that is not healing, it isn't currently healing, needs to be throwing out some offensive spells, and if they don't have them, they suck. You can't control your player base, man. They're going to figure out crap. But yeah, 11 did not like what the way the player base used Ninja, and they tried for years, literal years, to get people to play it a certain way, and it never worked. It never worked. Once the player base figured out how to do blink tanking, man, that was it. It was off to the races. That's what everybody did. If you had a ninja, you had 2 ninjas, and then they would just trade off aggro. You take your 3 hits, get your Uchi's back up. Okay, I hand it over to you. You take 3 hits, then we just swap back and forth. It was a viable strategy. Everybody did it. The devs hated it. Yeah, for absolute virtue, I remember there were all sorts of little tricks. Well, you can't beat them this way. You get dragoons with Kraken clubs, which hit like 8 times at a shot, which was technically a bug. But whatever. Hey, they never gave us points for creativity, man. They just docked us for figuring it out. Yeah, figuring out something that worked, So it's kind of demotivating. But yeah, it's just a thing. To come back around, you can't control your player base. They're going to find out what they think works. And it's better to cater around that. Some devs do that. They be like, oh, they're doing this. Let's design bosses around that. That would have been the right way to do it. Instead of trying to nerf at a job or something that you made or a skill you made, design stuff that requires that particular play style to be played perfectly. That, to me, is the correct way to deal with that. I think we're just going to honey this, because I have no chance of getting whacked upside the head. I think we're going to take this, too. Yeah, I tend to wax Sportic, and Final Fantasy just is, especially 11. As much as I love that game, and it's the nostalgia goggles. I had a lot of fun. It was my first true MMO. I had a lot of fun playing it. But yeah, that was like a cold war between the devs and the player base at times. It was a lot of fun, but there was a lot of stupidity that happened. They ought to take lessons from stuff like that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been 7 days to Die Valencia. We are in the end days. We are coming up on the end. You may see less episodes of this in the coming days. I will have more for you in the future regarding timing that. It won't be in the next 2 updates. It'll probably be out after that, but watch my channel, watch the community tag, and you'll see more there. Have a great day, guys, and I'll catch you in the next vid. Bye now.